We're live.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Lunch Bunch at the Spiritual Neighborhood. The Spiritual Neighborhood is a grassroots community project of the Council of Families for Children dedicated to the quality of life for the body, mind, and spirit, and for the integration of a healthy, happy human. And today we have Luan, Morton, and Elizabeth. Would you introduce her?
I will be glad to.
Welcome, Luan.
This is my friend, Luan. She is an herbalist. She is studying to be a certified herbalist at East West School of Planetary Herbology. She is also a biologist. She is a licensed vocational nurse. She is certified surgical technologist. She is a published author of 2 bestsellers, 1 international bestseller. She is a professional card reader, Reiki practitioner, and soon to be a Reiki master teacher. She is also an ordained minister. She happily assists individuals to find natural herbal solutions for acute and chronic health issues. Her passion is to help people enjoy healthier lives through nutrition, alternative medicines, and herbs. Plants have been a part of her life since she was a small child when she began enjoying the family garden. You can find her new company on Facebook, Herbal Lou, and her website at herbal-lou.com. We'll have all that info at the bottom. You can also get her on the email herbalou1105@gmail.com. At present, Luan is refining her cough syrups, throat sprays, lip balms, and brand new to her creation, tattoo creams. But I also want to mention that when I do my classes, usually the first person I go to is Luan, because here it is. We have, I have a lot of Reiki classes, and every one of my students gets one of these because she makes them for me.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Very nice.
So, and it has the symbol on there, which I don't know if you can see real well. It is the flower of life. It's been infused with Reiki crystals. And what we had Luan work with, which she perfected, is when you're like saying your prayer, like for prayer warriors, you know, when they say, well, somebody say a prayer and we're talking about sending Reiki energy to people, we would take this, dab a little bit of it, rub it in our hands, get them warm, clap 3 times, and send that energy out. And that really has made a huge difference. So she's working on a couple of other things. There's some chakra crystal oils that she's working on. I know she's working on them because we discussed a little bit of that. So Luan is also my friend. She definitely helped my mom. And if you want to, Luan, you can either start from there or whatever it is that you want to talk about first.
Well, yes, I will talk about Eleanor. Eleanor Rhodes is Elizabeth's mother, or was Elizabeth's mother. We lost her 2 years ago. But she had this hacking cough. And the first time I was in their home, I said, "What's with the cough?" It says, "My mother's had that forever. It's a result of one of her meds." And I said, "Well, I can fix that." And so I went out to decide. I had just started working with a company called Learning Herbs, where they were teaching others how to really perfect things for themselves in their homes. And one of the things they had been working on that 6 months, was elderberry syrup. So I put the elderberry syrup together, and we tried it out on Elizabeth's mom, and she had such great success that I said, well, I guess I'm going to have to make a lot of it. So I did, and many of our friends through our metaphysical groups have bought, so it was mostly word of mouth. And then Elizabeth and Jenny said, you need to put it out there. Well, before I could get it on the internet, here comes whatever that company is, Sambuco, that has Sambuca. That's an elderberry syrup.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, you put it out there on the universal highway and somebody's going to pick it up. So I did it anyway, and that's how it all started. So it started with elderberry syrup, and then it went to the Reiki balm, And then it went to a cream that I made for Jenny, and I guess I have all those. But anything you see, the lip balm, the herbal throat spray, because I was having trouble just with allergies and having a scratchy throat. And I do have a cold and flu balm that I did put together. It's almost like Vicks Vapor Rub. It's just,
Ooh.
it's not
Good
as
stuff.
it's not as potent as Vicks Vapor Rub. It has a more, and it looks like the Reiki balm, but once you heat it up, it has more of a creamy texture.
So do you put that on your throat or your feet or what? Where do you put that?
You can put it on your feet. You can put it on your chest, like your mom used to do for colds and flus and nasty cough stuff for your chest. But you can smell the menthol, but it's not overwhelming. I know the menthol I get with Vicks Vapor Rub, of course, it does open up your head, but this is more to enter on your chest. You could even put a hot pack on top of it if you're having a lot of congestion. Elderberry syrup has a lot of constituents in it, but the one they think that works the best with, this is probably backwards, isn't it?
No, it's right. It's right.
Is it?
Yeah, it's right.
It's called Quercetin. No, there's not an R in it. Quercetin. And that's the active component they believe, scientists believe, that is the most active against viruses. And the flu is a virus. I wrote an article in a book called Holistic. That's where one of the books come, my published stuff. But it's, I wanted to make sure that I read this correctly. This is from the study of international medical research. Flu patients who were given a dose of elderberry syrup recovered 3 to 4 days earlier than those who were not given this supplement. In conjunction, the other half of the group was given Tamiflu, and it took 4.5 to 5 days for that group to recover.
Wow. Wow.
So in that study, it actually worked faster. And there's been several studies. I just did a new search, and there's even more recent studies about elderberry syrup and its efficacy in combating colds and flus from viruses.
Well, I can remember my grandmother having something with elderberries, but I don't know if it was a syrup or if it was wine or what it was. But that and peach brandy were the two go-to medicines, and Vicks Vapor Rub, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely Vicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that probably the combination, honey, the only preservative in this is honey. Honey's what preserves the elderberry syrup. So
That's
it is
smart.
quite sweet. It is quite sweet. And a lot of people have complained about it. So I tried to cut back on the honey and had a catastrophe and had to throw out the whole batch.
I like sweet. Keep it that way.
Well, it's staying that way because I don't want to have any more catastrophes. You know, when you take it out of the refrigerator and you go, this is moldy. Why is this molding? It's been in the refrigerator. And that's why I reduced the sugar. I reduced the honey in the.
Well,
So I'm being more careful because I make all my products at home, and I use separate pans. None of the pans I use have been used for cooking anyway. It's all strictly for my supplements, for the elderberry and the lip balms, and so those all stay to one side, and my cooking utensils are on the other side. So I'm very careful about sterilizing everything. I have one of those Instapots that I can sterilize the bottles in.
That's smart. That's really
So,
cool.
I have a question, Luan.
mhm.
I know people that use it, and there are some that use it every day, even though they're not sick, to keep their immune system up, and then some that say they use it only when they feel something coming on. What is your recommendation?
Um, I think if you feel run down, that you might want to use it a teaspoon a day for a while until you're feeling that your immune system has kicked in some. And I know Jenny uses it anytime she starts kind of feeling down or like, oh gosh, I'm maybe getting a head cold or maybe her child is sick. She'll take a tablespoon every day till she feels better. And it usually only takes her 3 days to feel better. But if you wanted to take it every day, I would say a teaspoon every day. You know, it is a fruit. So that's one of the drawbacks. If you take it too often, your gut is going to revolt against it. And it does have fiber in it. And one of the things I was surprised to find out is that elderberries, the stems and the leaves contain cyanide.
Oh, wow.
So you should never eat any of the stems or any of the leaves, and even the fruit. It's recommended that it's boiled. And so that's why you put all the things in a pot and you bring it to a boil, and then it simmers forever because you reduce it in half by volume before you put it in a jar.
Right.
So that's
So
probably why it's not good for children under 1.
well, the honey, children under 1 should not have honey. It reacts poorly with their immune system, and their sometimes, I'm trying to remember, can cause, it's a reaction they have because they're so young. I'm sorry, it escapes me at the moment, but it doesn't matter where you're getting the honey, even if it's fresh out of the container. I collect my honey from a company in Josephine, Texas, which is right up the road from us. So my honey is very local and very fresh. And they only, they're going to start collecting fall honey, he said, but so far they only collect honey in the spring. So
Oh, you should get the honey
I
where
don't,
they use the pot plants. That would really give it some kick.
well, I don't think they have that there.
Not here, but they do in Oklahoma. Let me just say this about Luann. First of all, she's my favorite guest so far, and here's why. Because she brought us gifts. Out of all the people that we've had on the show, she's the only one that thought to give us a sample of her products so we could use them. And I have been using mine this week, and they're phenomenal. I love them. I have horrible fingernails because I had an allergic reaction to acrylic nails in my 20s, and they never recovered. And my nails are like sandpaper, and they have really deep ridges. And the ridges are still there after 3 days, but they feel nice, and they feel moist, and they feel smooth. And my cuticles are better than they've ever been. And I'm using the tattoo stuff on a scar that I have, and it's fading already after 3 days. Now, I don't know how long that, how far that will go, but I'm going to keep using it. But the thing that impressed me the most is that I have allergies that I manage really well, but sometimes with the ozone the way it is, they flare up. And I was having a lot of pain in my inner ear and in my glands on the right side. And it said throat spray. I don't know what it said on that bottle. It said something, but I sprayed it anyway. So I'll try anything once. I don't care. I'll try anything once. So I sprayed it that night, and the pain in it was not like when I swallowed, but it was like having a cramp in the back of your throat and your inner ear almost. It just pinched, And I'm like, oh crap, I'm not going to the doctor for this. And then I sprayed it again that morning when I woke up, and then about noon I was like, oh wait, I don't hurt. And I'm feeling around on my throat, and I'm poking it, and I'm trying to make it, and I'm pulling my ear, trying to see if it's going to hurt, and it hasn't hurt since then. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
when you're not, when you don't use, or even if you do, I guess, when you go to natural stuff, it seems to work better. And of course, with anything, you don't want to overuse even the natural stuff because then it loses
Right.
its. But
Or you get diarrhea.
if you
Really
it's a
quickly,
fun-
really quickly. That's no joke. That's really, I mean, really.
well,
It will
Elizabeth-
clean your clock. That's for sure.
Elizabeth called me one time and says, "Mom's having a little problem with her intestines," and I went, "How much is she taking?"
Well, if it tastes good, you want to drink it. Yeah.
Well, my mom
Right.
said, well, if a little does make you feel halfway good, a lot will make you feel a lot better.
Mhm.
And so mother started, like, every time she just would wake up, she'd just take a swig and then put the bottle back. And it was like, Mother, you can't do this all day. This is not something you do all the time. Yeah, but I feel so much better. And then it kicked in.
Well, even with bourbon, you can't do that. You can't just keep doing that with bourbon. I mean, all good things have limits, you know. So,
Yeah, it's true. That's
I
true.
didn't,
Yeah.
I didn't know all that about you though, with the botanicals and all that. Tell us the other stuff that you're doing. You're a fascinating person. What else is going on?
I thank you very much. I've always been interested in plants, except my first apartment had like 60 houseplants. So, but I went into nursing, and I was a late bloomer. In 1980, I got my LVN license, and from there I went to work in the operating room. But my friend Mitchell had a decubitus, which is an ulcer of your backside, and his mother was trying everything. She was a nurse, and she was trying everything. And she goes, "You got to help me. I can't get this to heal." I said, "Okay, I'll figure out something." So I went and did some research. Now, there was no Google then.
No Google.
So you had to go to the library, or you had to seek out. I was, was around doctors all day long, and I asked them, and they said, "Well, and then I finally got the, what is he called? Proctologist. And I said, I don't remember his name, but he was an older physician. And he said, "Yeah, you need to find the same stuff they make stoma circles with. I think it's called Garaya powder." And so I went and did some research. We talked to the pharmacist. He got the powdered Garaya powder. And what I had her do was wash with soap and water and then rinse and then put on this powder and then stick his butt in the sunshine. So it got well fast that way. What the powder was doing was acting like a granular substance to keep the tissue forming and something to it to hold on to.
That is funny. The funny thing is that you put them out in the sunshine because, the big thing now is anal airing out. What do they call that?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you seen that? You're supposed to,
No.
That's called disgusting.
you lay out in the yard and you throw your legs up in the air and you let the sun in where it never shines.
Yeah. That's disgusting.
No,
Yeah.
I would burn something and then I would be miserable.
They do. They do. Some celebrity did it and then did a big hoopla on the internet about how he burned his butthole. So,
Well, yeah, what? Geez.
No, sorry. I pass on that one. I'll pass.
I see a whole class around that. We're going to do our butthole.
No. What not to do? What not to put this cream on?
Yeah.
Hey, Betty, do we have any questions or comments, please?
It's Friday.
Do not use this cream on that particular area.
We should be drinking on Friday.
No, you should not have a tattoo there, so you should not be using that.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Luann
Oh my
gets me.
God.
Luann gets me. I love guests that get me. That is hilarious.
Oh,
Oh my God. Thank you for being here. I love you.
Yeah. Well, I truly love. I truly love coming up with things that people think will help them in their everyday life. Like Jenny and her face cream. We tried out the chamomile and the calendula on her face, and I said I'm coming up with something new. She had no idea I was making it particularly for her. So, it's just you want to help when someone's face is so red all the time, and you think I can do something to help that.
Well, that's
and
huge
it
right
works.
now. That is
It
so
works.
huge. And most of the products out there are not very successful. So you could sell the heck out of that. Really.
Well, on my webpage,
It's great stuff.
I do have some of my products on my webpage for purchase. Right now, the elderberries are on back order.
Huh?
I guess everybody and their dog is. I get all my products from a company called Mountain Rose Herbs.
Oh, Rose.
They do organics, fair trade. They make sure it's sustainable products that are not going to be wiped out once they use it. So they do a lot of collections all over the world of their products, and I trust their selection.
Well, do you have your own garden that you grow certain things in?
Not right now, but I will. I have a young lady who is a whiz at gardening, and she's going to help me grow some elderberry trees.
Wonderful.
And they come from stock in the Carolinas, where they grow them, and there's several different stocks. The thing about collecting your own elderberries is you must be very careful with the stems and the leaves. Like I said, they have cyanide. And, a lot of people forage there. Unless you've been with someone who is an expert on plants, you should never try to forage your own. There are so many lookalikes out there that are poisonous.
Oh, wow. I wouldn't have thought that. Yeah.
Even for the wild onion, there's a lookalike that is poisonous.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to be very, very careful. So I don't forage anything that I use. I strictly go to Mountain Roses because I know that they're reputable. There's also another one called Bulk Apothecary if I absolutely can't get it from Mountain Rose. So I can't complain about their products at all. And I know I'm giving my clients something organic.
Well, I am amazed at the depth of knowledge that you bring to the table for this, and that should be reassuring to everyone. It's not like, well, you just went to Whole Foods and you picked up a bunch of essential oil bottles, and then you got on the Google and you say, oh, let's just throw these together. Because a lot of people do that, and they're successful, and they
Yes.
make decent products. I'm not putting that down. That's a great way to start. But if you're going to mass produce this, you've got to make sure you're safe. And you're giving them not only a viable product, but a safe product. And so I find it very, very reassuring to know that you have all this wealth of information that you're pulling from.
Thank you. I work hard to make sure that everything I put in my product is listed on the label, because I don't want anyone to say, well, I had a reaction to this and nothing on the label, am I allergic to? Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention. So anything and everything goes.
So you'd really recommend people before they start using these things, if they're on medications or taking other supplements, to really check in and do their homework on what goes together and what doesn't go together, because this can be healthy by itself and this could be healthy by itself, but together they may not be. So it's really up to the individual to do their homework on what they should take together with that.
It's very important that you double check especially a prescription medication, because they will have recommendations. Do not take it with this. And then if they're still unsure, they can either call me or call their physician. The physician should really know, especially over-the-counter products that could or might interfere with their medication. You know, herbalists do not diagnose anything. The only thing an herbalist can do is help you with whatever the doctor has said you have or whatever symptoms you might have. So there's a very fine line, and herbalists try not to cross it at all, because we want to be successful helping people. And in doing so, we have to say, this is what I suggest, but you need to talk to your physician.
So you do private consultations then? That's what I'm understanding. So I can call you and say, look, I've got a pimple. What are you going to fix for me to get rid of this pimple?
Yeah, you can ask me.
Yeah.
What's funny is you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And unless something out there, when you said pimple, like Proactive, unless you're allergic to that, I think that's a great product. And so I might not recommend me fixing something for you. I might just say, well, this is, this one is non-allergenic and non this and non that. Or I could do some research for you if you would like me to. But a lot of people, they want all their things natural, no additives, no preservatives. So that's what I do.
See, I think that's a lovely attitude, though, that you send them where they're going to get help, whether it's your help or someone else's. I think more healers should be like that. I really do.
Well, and I think that more are trying to be that way. More are trying to say, I have product and I can do this, but this product works just as well. It's organic, or, I probably would have to do some research on that, but every time something would need to be researched, I mean, I just don't believe in saying, oh, here, take this.
Well, I will tell you, I've used lavender on a pimple here and there, and it worked fine, but not everybody can use lavender. Some people are allergic to lavender, and maybe they might just need to take some coconut oil and put a drop and rub it in and rub it on their face. But I find that if you just have one or two, then just put a little bit of that on there, and the next day they're gone. So, but not everybody's the same.
I use Vicks on my pimples. I use Vicks on my pimples. I do. It works on everything.
Who is that said, use Windex? I don't know.
From my big fat Greek wedding. It was in my big fat Greek wedding. He sprayed everything with Windex, And
I thought, no. No. Oh my God. It's like the president saying, well, let's just hook ourselves up to that. What? No.
Well, whether it works or not, it at least makes me feel better, because I like the smell of Vicks, so it at least soothes me.
Mm-hmm. It does. I think it comes from our childhood because our mothers used it, and it's just like, oh, I know I'll feel better after this.
Yeah. Placebo effect. Oh, it cured my cancer. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so, that's another touchy subject.
Yeah. So what else do you spend your time doing with these things? I mean, you just had such a huge repertoire.
Because I'm concerned about my own face, I'm going to be making goat's milk, oatmeal, honey soap.
Ooh.
I don't want to get into the soap business, but I do want a soap that's going to be mild and soothing to my face. It seems like that my face has started itching so much over the past several months, and I'm sure it's because I'm getting older and my skin is getting drier. But oatmeal really helps. If you've ever had chicken pox and had an oatmeal bath, it's the best thing in the world. So the honey and the goat's milk is very full of fats, and along with the other oils that you use with it, it will be a lye-based soap. So I have to make it, and then I have to leave it on the shelf for 6 weeks.
Wow.
But as soon as, it has to cure. And in curing, it uses up the lye, or the sodium hydroxide. It uses it up, and then it's no longer caustic to your skin.
Wow.
That's how our grandmothers did it. Our great-grandmothers did it.
Yeah.
When they made soap, they used lye. It was a combination of ash and something else. and they made a lye substance, which was
Well, I have a funny story about the
Awesome.
oatmeal. I had the chicken pox when we were on vacation when I was 5, and we were camping up in Arkansas. And chicken pox was just considered no big deal back then. So I got to lay up in the camper, and my mother made a big paste of oatmeal, and she would rub that all over my body, and then I'd go down to the river and wash it off. But it did. It soothed everything. It made everything
Mhm.
feel better. It took care. But I'm walking like this, trying to keep the oatmeal on me, going down to the river to wash it off. It's hilarious. But yeah, it works. It does.
yeah, it does. It works very well.
Well,
So I'm looking forward to the soap.
you're like the fountain of youth. I just want you to make me a big bath so I could just take a bath in all this stuff. That's awesome.
Well, when you
Yeah.
get that soap made, send us a bar, or I'll order one from you, and then come back on the show. And how long, would you recommend to, what we would want you to tell us is how long would you recommend us to use it before we start seeing the results? So we want to come back on and talk about that.
Yeah, well, that'll be 2 or 3 months before I can have a product and use it and see, and see how it works.
Why
Yeah.
are you going to put frankincense and myrrh? Why wouldn't you do that?
Because a lot of people, essential oils irritate their face, and fragrances irritate their face. And some people just don't want fragrances at all in their soaps or their lotion.
Got it. Got it.
You know.
I must be weird. I used frankincense on my face and my lotion, and it didn't bother me. So I guess, like we said, it's individual.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Luan, in a couple of months, that would be a great time for you to come back so you can also talk about your winter box.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh, what's that? What is it? I want one. What
It
is
was
it?
postponed last year, but this year I'm going to have 8 ounces of the cough syrup. I'll have the 2 ounces of the throat spray, the lip balm, and the cold and flu salve in a box together. And it'll be priced less than each component by themselves.
I want 4. Seriously, I do. I want 4. I want 4 for gifts.
It will show up on my website. And the other thing I thought about doing is I may put clinics in it. Everybody has a cold needs clinic. We'll see how it goes.
Put a roll of toilet paper in there while you're in it.
Surprise!
Well, that's just been it's kind of a gag gift, because toilet paper.
Drink too much of this, and you're going to need that. Yeah.
No, I just meant because of what we've been through with, the 2020 special gift. Everybody gives away a roll of toilet paper, no matter what you get.
That's right. Surprise.
Consolation prize.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Scott said we should go and roller paper, toilet paper a bunch of houses like we did when we were kids. He goes, everybody would think it was a nice gift now.
They would actually be out there rolling it up. Seriously.
Oh my God.
Wow, look, we've been gifted. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe.
That's for winning lottery tickets. No, we get toilet paper.
Oh my gosh, you're a bad influence on me, Luann. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Elizabeth says the same thing.
I know. I could see. We need to all go drinking. I think that'd be fun.
No.
And she says no, and then she'll sit down and have a beer, and then the next thing you know, it's 4. Oh no, not a 5th one.
That's why.
Not a 5th one. Don't make me do it, Deborah. Don't make me.
Luann.
Go ahead. Twist my arm. Twist my arm. Make me drink that 5th one.
What we call it.
Oh my
What we call it in our group is being an enabler. We are enablers. We will call, Jenny, she likes dolls. So if there's a doll sale, we say, Jenny, guess what? She says, you guys are enablers. So that's
I call that supportive, fun friends. It's all in your
So
perspective.
we're enablers. We are actually enablers. That's really true. We are enablers.
Oh, all right. So when y'all go on another trip, I want to go and just videotape it. I just want to go and watch
Oh
on
my God,
video.
no, you're not allowed to videotape that.
Hey, I'm a PI. You'll never see me. I can do it if I want to. I've done this for 32 years, and I'm good at it.
She'll be in a good disguise.
You'll never know until it hits the internet. Boom.
Hey, when we go out, it's like Vegas. What stays in Vegas stays in. What happens in Vegas stays in
Stays
Vegas.
in
When we
Vegas,
go
yeah.
out.
Unless I videotape it. Unless I videotape it.
Plano stays in Plano.
Oh dear.
Luan, one of you is going to have to be sober so we can keep an eye out for Deborah. That's what's going to have to happen there.
Yeah, like that's ever going to happen. Like that's ever going to happen.
We will have to be very aware of our surroundings.
Yes.
Very.
Just look for the lady with the hat. That'll be me.
And the blue sunglasses.
No, I wear wigs. I wear hats.
Everybody said that I got my hat ready just in case.
Oh, that's so cute.
There we
That's
go.
so cute.
Hello.
Gail's got her hat.
Yeah. So as y'all are talking, I'm using my crystal Reiki hand balm and rubbing it in my nails as well, y'all. And it feels wonderful. It just feels so good. Thank you so much, Luann, for sharing all that information.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah. Tell them one more time how they can get a hold of you so they don't have to go through a list. Oh, wait a minute. Betty's got a question real quick, Luann. Wait a minute.
Okay, so Jenny Cabanas, hopefully I didn't mispronounce her name. She said the face cream is fantastic. And
that
then,
face cream I made just for her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then Wendy Marshall McDonald and Carrie Glaser.
Hey, Carrie.
Hello,
And
everybody.
hi. Say hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
And Jenny
Thanks for
said,
joining.
Jenny asked a question, and she asked, "Did I hear dolls?"
Oh no!
There's a story about that too.
Oh no! You should take her to the Mineral Wells house and let her see those dolls.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think Jenny
Creepy.
would go.
Word creepy.
Creepy,
No.
I don't
creepy.
think Jenny would go. Do you, Luann? I don't think she would. I don't think Jenny would go.
She doesn't want to see creepy dolls.
They're
No,
creepy.
she doesn't like creepy dolls.
They're
She
very
said
creepy.
that she has a few that when she passes them, she goes, "Oh, okay, it's for everything's fine."
And she loves dolls. I mean, that's what she loves to do. We support her, so when she wants to go to like an estate sale or whatever, and she knows that there's dolls there, we'll go with her just so we can go and look as well, just to see. We support her. And then all three of us love home goods, so we all, terrorize the home goods people. And then at home is my place because they have so much
I love that
Halloween
place.
stuff. And Michael's, we're always going to somewhere, and so we haven't been out in a long time to those places. I'm looking forward to terrorizing Michael's or at least home goods soon.
Well, here's a clue phone. I'm giving you a clue phone. If you don't want to be videotaped, you invite me to go with you.
Well, I wonder how long we're going to be in quarantine, Luann. I think it may be quite long.
Is that blackmail? Is that called blackmail?
No,
I
it's
think
the
it's
truth.
going to be quite
If it's the truth, it's not right now.
Hey, we haven't been to those places since March of 14th. And, we may not go back until we can Be
Yeah,
assured
this
that we
we actually the last time we did that. Yeah, that was March the 14th. We went out on my birthday because it was coming, and we knew we needed to go to places if we were going to go, and that was it. I mean, we didn't see each other for wow, almost what 2 months or
That
so,
sucks. Yeah, that
not until
sucks.
May or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
except
Well, we
on
thought it was
Zoom.
really appropriate for Luann to be on today because she did help my mom so much, and my mom's it'll be 2 years tomorrow that
Oh,
she's
wow.
passed. So we figured she kind of manipulated she
Yeah.
kind of manipulated this because I introduced Luann to my mom, and so I bring my friends in and all these things, and so it becomes all of a sudden it's my Luann. My Lulu. That's what she called it. That's my Lulu. That is my Lulu. And I go, excuse me? No, she is my Lulu. I go, okay, wow. Not sure who I am now, but it was my Lulu. And then it was like Luann could just do anything. It didn't matter what she brought in. Everything worked. And it did. It actually worked.
Well, I just
And
think the
she had
biggest
chronic
compliment is that how much your mother trusted her, because it is hard to put your trust in somebody when it's about your health.
Oh man, well,
You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
doctors, I don't care who they are. I've got to really trust you before I'm going to put that in my mouth, whatever it
Yeah.
is, or needle or whatever. That didn't sound right, did it? All right, whatever.
Well, I had to really, I had to be around her for quite some time to really say, okay, I trust you enough to work on my mom. It works that way.
Well, you got the
work
best
your way in
endorsement
anybody,
that anybody could have in the fact that Eleanor Rose appreciated you. So that's the best endorsement there. So
Yep.
It was very nice. She was
My Lulu. I'll never forget that. My Lulu.
my Lulu, the kid, my Lulu, my Lulu. No,
Mine,
get away.
mine.
All right, Lulu, tell them how to get a hold of you so we can close out today.
Well, I have an email, herballu1105, no spaces, @gmail.com.
Now, is that with an H or not with an H?
HERBAL.
Yes.
Herbal. Herbal Lou.
Well, in England, they say herbal. In England, it's herbal.
Of course.
So.
And then
And it's
my telephone
LU,
number
right?
is LU.
LU.
It's just a shortened version of my name. When I worked in biology at Richmond College, all of my students called me Mama Lou.
That's cute.
And it was great. I had a great marker. So when we started talking about a name, and I said, well, how about Herbal Lou? Everybody calls me Mama Lou. How about Herbal Lou? So that's how it got stuck.
I don't have a sister, so I'm going to call you Sissy Lou.
Well, we have your information on Spiritual Neighborhood.
Great.
And I have it on my personal page as well. So if anybody needs to get a hold of Luann, go to Spiritual Neighborhood and join our page, and you'll see it there anyway. But please become a member, and then later on we'll have her video live on YouTube. Please go there and watch her video and subscribe. We really would appreciate it.
And buy something, damn it. We're having people on here to support them. Buy some of their stuff.
Well, a lot of people don't know where to go to get past products, and so Luann is one of our guests, and certainly she's got some good reviews from Elizabeth here, and I trust it. I mean, I'm using it already. So thank you very much for the goodies, and I look forward to the others.
You're welcome.
All right, we appreciate you very much, and we will see you again soon. And I'm going to be ordering some products. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yay! Thank you, Luann.
Bye.
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 I did it. I got it.
Yay!
So just so y'all know, the Facebook page live fell off on one of the pages, but I got us logged back on. But it stayed on the whole time on the Spiritual Neighborhood, just so you guys know.
Okay.
So we're still live though.
Yeah, so close us out. And,
Well, and before we close out, because I wanted to do this yesterday, but we got knocked off because we had a technical issue yesterday. But I wanted to share with everybody that I went to see Audra Wheatley this week.
wait a minute. Let me stop the recording. So this will just be about Luan. Hang on a second. So let me stop.